Hey guys, welcome to King of the Great Lakes Test Fest here in 2023. We made it through some tumultuous years, God willing, and we're excited to be here. We've got the man, the myth, the legend, Sam, with Airush. Sam, how long have you been working with Airush? Give us a little...
I've been with Airush since 2017.
Yeah.
Been kiting since 1998, 25 years. And I've been coming to this event since 2004.
That's amazing.
Yeah,
That's longer than I've been here.
First one. Yeah, it's crazy. I have the first T-shirt from this event when it was the competition, the King of the Great Lakes.
Signed by Steve, framed on a wall, I'm sure.
I do have it still, though.
Yeah, that's awesome. What was your first kite back in the day?
The very first kite we had was a Whippaga Classic 8.5 meter two-line kite, and then we also had a series of foil kites. We had flexi foil blades, and we had the Concept Air Traction X. Yeah. And my first time ever on a board riding, it was on a big directional windsurf board that we converted the foot straps to work as a kiteboard, and I had handles with a rope in between that I hooked into, and when you twist them down and break the kite, it was crazy.
Yeah. I remember those 4-line breakers.
Yeah.
You still have those, or are they long gone?
Long gone.
Yeah, the moths got them.
Yeah.
Well, fortunately, since those days, we've come a little ways, right?
Yeah, definitely.
And we've got the all-new Airush lift behind us.
Yeah, so this is the lift team. What we did with the Airush range this year was we simplified the range. We have 4 main models. Yeah. We have the Ultra, the Lithium, the Session, and the Lift. And we do all of our kites now in 2 constructions. Our original construction, which is your regular Dacron and regular dual ripstop canopy material. And then our team construction features the Hokipa leading edge, which is an ultra woven PE material with a laminate on one side. And then it also features our load frame, which you can see the blue stitching on the inside of the kite, and that's also an ultra PE that's woven or sewn into the kite. And what that does is it just helps keep the shape of the kite, the pocket of the kite, for a bit longer. So you get more longevity out of your sail, and also if you do rip your kite, it won't rip as far. Okay. Which is kind of nice.
Interesting. Mm-hmm. So we were talking briefly before we started rolling about the factory you source your fabric from, Challenger. Made in USA, eh?
Yeah, so Challenge is a US-based company, and I mean, within the kiteboarding world and wing world, they probably make at least 50% of the canopy material and strut and leading edge materials for all the manufacturers. There's loads of manufacturers that use Challenge products. We're one of them, and I know at the Test Fest here, there's several other brands that work with Challenge.
We won't name them.
Yeah, we won't name them, but they're here.
It's a secret.
But we have, on this kite, we use the Hokipa, which is from Challenge, and that's something that we worked with them for many years on. And I think that's one cool thing you see in the industry right now is there's, a lot of development, not only with just wings and kites, but also, starting to bring in new materials that we haven't seen in the past. We've been using Dacron for so many years, and it's an excellent material, but now we're trying to reach a bit further and try to use and incorporate new materials to get better quality products that last longer and also more performance out of those products. Yeah.
So you went ahead and kind of answered the next question. Somebody's trying to decide which direction to go, regular Dacron versus the team construction. What's the spiel?
So on our team construction, basically, obviously it is going to be a bit more expensive. The reason why is there's more that goes into those products as far as cost of raw materials. The Hokipa costs more, putting the load frame on the kite costs more. So that increases obviously the end price of the kite or the wing. But what you're going to get with the Hokipa on the leading edge, we're able to run a narrower diameter leading edge because we can put higher PSI in the Hokipa material than you could a traditional Dacron. So with a narrower leading edge, not only are you getting a weight reduction with the Hokipa material itself being 25% lighter, but also you're using less material all of a sudden because you're using a narrower diameter leading edge. But also with that, you're able to pump them harder, so you have a really rigid airframe, and then a lot of forward drive with that narrower diameter leading edge. And then the load frame, like I said before, basically you know, helps as the kite stretches, it prevents it from stretching.
Yeah.
So that it keeps that same pocket, that same power, so you get more life out of your kite.
Yeah.
Also, if it rips, it can't rip top to bottom or, you know, leading edge to trailing edge on the panel, because that load frame will stop it.
Okay.
So for repairs, it's going to be a smaller repair, cheaper, and also, you know, when you get a rip top to bottom on your kite, it sucks.
It's devastating, yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
Except for, I guess, airtime.
Yeah.
Shout out to those guys. They love that.
Definitely, definitely.
So like, how much longer does this last then?
Well, the material, I mean, the nice thing with Hokipa is it's only laminated on one side, not on the outside. So it's a woven Ultra P material. So it's got better abrasion than Dacron. So, you know, on the beach and whatnot, if there's rocks or sticks or whatever, it's gonna be better to abrasion than your regular Dacron.
Yeah.
So it's hard to put, you know, a timeline on how long that'll last, but longer than Dacron.
Yeah.
And then also having the load frame on, I think it really depends on how much people are riding.
Yeah.
But I know, like,
give us like the team rider, right? Like
the team rider, I mean, we have team riders of ours that are riding a Razor Sea Kite. They have the load frame on it, and I mean, team riders, like, you know, they'll go easily a year and a half on a kite, and they're riding, you know, 300 days a year or something, some of these team riders, and their kite still has life in it. I mean,
that's
the
impressive.
Material start to bag out a little bit, but the power in the kite stays the same because that load frame's really holding it together.
Yeah. What about repairability? That's been one of the issues with Alula, and it's being addressed, but is this just as easy to fix as a regular Dacron?
That's the nice thing with the Hokipas. It's still a woven material, and by woven, you know, the best way to kind of describe it is it's like grandma's knitting, right? It's layers woven over and under each other, versus a full laminate where it's usually a laminate, a resin, and a scrim, and another piece, kind of like a sandwich. So with the Hokipa, it's great because it is really easy to repair. You know, we've had that comment from repair centers like Airtime, like, yeah, it's nice to work with, versus, you know, some of the laminates out there, and I'm not knocking them because they are great products for sure, but they are more challenging to repair, and also, you know, to do seam work on in the factory. That's something that I think a lot of manufacturers, when they start working with us, that's something they have to figure out, is how they're going to use.
There's a bit of a learning curve, eh?
For sure.
Yeah. Let's kind of take an overview of the line. We obviously have the lift. So who is this kite for? It's been featured obviously in the blank kite test and did quite favorably. Yeah. Which is awesome.
Yeah, so we have our lift is our 5-strut kind of dedicated performance freeride kite, I would say. It seems like everybody uses performance freeride. Everything crosses over a little bit, but this is kind of for the rider that wants to do it all. Like, it's an incredible big air kite. Having the 5-strut design, it's got tons of forward drive. It's really stable in strong conditions. But it's also awesome for unhooking, which is kind of cool. So it's a little bit of a do-it-all kite. But I would definitely say somebody who's looking to do big jumps, big loops, you know, ride in overpowered conditions, I would send them towards the lift. The next one in our range, which is also kind of in that freeride category, would be the Lithium. And the Lithium's our 3-strut kite. It's got swept back wingtips. It's an awesome, easy kite to ride. And you can go from, you know, your first water starts on that kite to, you know, boosting huge airs and whatnot. So it's actually been our top seller the past couple of years, the Lithium. And it's done really well. It's a 3-strut platform. It's just a fun, easy kite. It's kind of like your daily driver, I would say, you know. It does it all well. And then we have our Session V2 that's just come out, and our Session V2 is kind of our dedicated freeride wave kite. So it's excellent in the waves, drifts really well, which also works really well for foiling. So, you know, if somebody's riding waves a lot and they like to foil in lighter wind, I would send them towards the Session. And then also we have our Ultra, which we've had in the range now for, I think, as long as foiling's been around, pretty much. And that's our dedicated 1-strut kite, which has done really well for us over the past few years with foiling, and we've redesigned that for 2024. We changed the wingtip shape on it, and we made it a little bit lower aspect to sit a little bit deeper in the wind window.
Interesting.
And yeah, so far the feedback's been really good on the new Ultra. And again, in all 4 of those kites in the range, they're in the original construction and also available in our team construction.
How about color options?
Color options, so in the original construction, we have in most models 3 different colorways, and then in our team construction, they actually only come in one colorway. So it's quite defined. Like if you see an Airush kite out there and it's this, call it slate and gray, that's our team series kite.
Okay. That's a nice call out.
Yeah, exactly.
Let you know I've got some skill.
I've
got some money. I might be a 1%er.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, you won't see us riding those at the shop. No, we're Dacron. Anyway, that's awesome. What does your personal quiver look like?
My personal quiver, I've got a mixture because, like you, I've got a wife now, so I got to make sure I've got kites for her, kites for me, and then wings mixed in there. So what I have a Lift 12.
Okay.
And then I have a 14-meter Ultra for really light wind. Yesterday I was able to get out in the water here in like 6 to 8 knots, I think, foiling on the 14-meter Ultra.
Yeah.
And then once I get into the smaller sizes, which my wife rides a lot, I've got a 7 and 9 Lithium, and then any smaller than that, you'll usually find me on my wings. So that's when I switch to wing foiling.
Okay. And winging, kiting?
50-50. I mean, I've been kiting, like I said, 25 years, and I still find enjoyment out of going out kiting, just because I get to pick a different vehicle every time I go kiting. Am I going to ride a surfboard? Am I going to ride a foil board? Twin tip with foot strap, twin tip with boots. I just like it because it's, it's different every time I go on the water. So I'm never bored.
Okay, that's awesome.
Yeah, and then the wing's awesome because I'm learning all the time. And I think that's what attracts a lot of people to these sports.
I would agree.
Is the constant progression, We've seen it in kiting. A lot of people start out riding a twin tip, doing big jumps, and then they start to get a little bored or they plateau and they go, I think I'm gonna pick up a surfboard. I'm gonna learn how to tack, jibe, maybe some strapless airs. And then same thing happens there, you plateau. So they're like, well, I'm gonna, get into foiling. I'm gonna extend my rideable winds, and they start foiling. And then, the next thing is wing foiling. It's just the evolution of these sports. And you kind of see it, that was a brief description of the kiting and how I think it went. But you look at windsurfing, and I mean, windsurfing led to, kiting. Kiting's led to winging. Like, it's just this crazy wind sports community that we're in. It's a beautiful thing to see it grow.
It's so much fun.
You talk to some of the old windsurfers in our company, like Sven, the owner, and he's been windsurfing. He competed in the Olympics, back in the 80s in windsurfing, and he's seen the start of windsurfing. He's seen the start of kiteboarding, and now the start of winging. Like, it's really incredible, within a short, 60 years, 50 years, how much wind sports have evolved.
So what's next?
I don't know. I think talking with a few people here, it sounds like, the downwind sup paddling is quite big. But then, I feel like we're gonna have some sort of contraption where it's like an umbrella or like, I don't know, some kind of Batman gizmo that like you pop out, it gets you up on the foil and then it tucks away quickly. And then, because winging's beautiful and in the waves and whatnot, but you still have a wing and it's still in the way sometimes.
Yeah.
Whereas I feel like, to get
the Mary Poppins umbrella.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's what I love it. Whoever does it, I think it's gonna work.
I think it's actually kind of a dope idea.
Yeah, it could be
maybe in the 2025 Airush catalog?
Yeah, umbrellas.
Yes. Guys, thank you so much for checking us out. Sam, it's been a pleasure.
Oh, thank you.
I think outside of Steve, you are the OG here.
Maybe. Nobody's more OG than Steve. He's been doing it forever.
Yeah, that's true. Well, you get second place. Thank you so much.
Thank you.